Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me again, Tikayo. So the topic for my today's video is liability coverage of vehicles insurance in the United States. So liability coverage, sometimes known as casualty insurance, is offered for bodily injury or property damage for which the insured driver is deemed responsible. The amount of coverage provided, a fixed dollar amount, will vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Kindly ignore the background voices. Whatever the minimum, the insured can usually increase the coverage prior to a loss for an additional charge. An example of property damage is where an insured driver drives into a telephone pole and damages the pole. Liability coverage pays for the damage to the pole. In this example, the driver's insured may also become liable for other expenses related to damaging the telephone pole, such as loss of service claims by the telephone company. Depending on the jurisdiction, an example of bodily injury is where an insured driver causes bodily harm to a third party and the insured driver is deemed responsible for the injuries. However, in some jurisdictions, the third party would first exhaust coverage for accident benefits through their own insurer, assuming they have one, and or would have to meet a legal definition of severe impairment to In some states, such as New Jersey, it is legal to operate or knowingly allow another to operate a motor vehicle that does not have liability insurance coverage. If an accident occurs in a state that requires liability coverage, both parties are usually required to bring in or submit copies of insurance cards to court as proof of liability coverage. In some jurisdictions, liability coverage is available either as a combined single limit policy or as a split limit policy. So if you ask me what is combined single limit policy, so a combined single limit combines property damage liability coverage and bodily injury coverage under one single combined limit. For example, an insured driver with a combined single liability limit strikes another vehicle and injures the driver and the passenger. Payments for the damages to the other driver's car, as well as payments for injury claims for the driver and passenger, would be paid out under this same coverage. Split limits coverage. So a split limit liability coverage policy splits the coverages into property damage coverage and bodily injury coverage. In the example given above, payments for the other driver's vehicle would be paid out under property damage coverage, and payments for the injuries would be paid out under bodily injury coverage. Bodily injury liability coverage is also usually split into a maximum payment per person and a maximum payment per accident. The limits are often expressed separated by slashes in the following from bodily injury per person, bodily injury per accident, bodily damage, property damage. For example, California requires this minimum coverage approximately about $15,000 for injury death to one person, $30,000 for injury death to more than one person, $5,000 for damage to property. This would be expressed as $15,000 versus $30,000 versus $5,000. So another example, in the state of Oklahoma, drivers must carry at least state minimum liability limits of $25,000 to $50,000 to $25,000. If an insured driver hits a car full of people and is found by the insurance company to be liable, the insurance company will pay $25,000 of one person's medical bills, but will not exceed $50,000 for other people injured in the accident. The insurance company will not pay more than $25,000 for property damage and repairs to the vehicle that the insured one hit. In the state of Indiana, the minimum liability limits are $25,000 to $50,000 to $10,000. So there is a greater property damage exposure for only carrying the minimum limits. General liability coverage purchased through a private insurer extends to rental cars. Comprehensive policies usually also apply to rental vehicle, although this should be verified beforehand. So, today's video's topic is just turning it up here. Hope you like this video and this informative collection. So, if you found this video helpful for you, just give this video a big like, thumbs up. Take care. See ya.